Usnea. This stuff. Often called old man's beard. See the resemblance? Cheers. Mm. 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 Yeah, I'm liking it. I had to. I'm sorry. You gotta. This plant. It's not a plant. This biological happening is a lichen. Mm. And lichens. This is a. Delicious. Yeah, it's like it's a symbiosis. It's more of a uh, it's a hmm. Can't think of the word. So symbiosis of two different plants. Not even plants, an algae and a fungi. We got the Ascomycota division of fungi represented here, and the chlorophyta, known as the chlorophytes. So an algae. So several beings working together, and they grow on trees. So enchanted when I first came to the West Coast, and there were so many of these everywhere it went. I seemed in the redwoods, and yeah, or it seemed just pretty magical, hanging from the trees, and when they're covered in the sparkly dew, like by honeydew, and they sparkle and glisten in that fog and mist. It's pretty amazing. And I've not used it much till recently. I've known some people that were pretty into it. But it's growing on these trees. I thought it was semi-parasitic. It's not at all. It's actually just kind of hanging there. It's using it as a substrator to hook on. It's like a leafless shrub that grows hooked on to these branches, and it'll be growing often on dying branches, and sometimes gets the rap, gets blamed for that. It's not its fault. It's kind of just opportunistic, and it's really like in the sunshine. And so it's just there because the space is available, the real estate's there, squat in the spot. And it's growing all over the world, this stuff. Pretty cool. It's not always very big, it really depends on good air quality. You can't even see with that light so much. It's just deciduous coniferous forest as far as the eye cannot see there. You got Shasta way back there in the distance. So there's a bunch of lichen growing on Shasta called the wolf lichen. So this stuff you can kind of use as a scrub or a sponge. It's got that cool consistency. I use that stuff to clean my wound. The bright green stuff all over the mountain, and come to find out that's wolf lichen, which really its main and maybe only use is to poison wolves. Places that they don't want to, you put it in a reindeer. This stuff is way different. Definitely a lichen, but way different properties. And so there's a genus of Usnea, quite a few different. Some I just ordered some from Alchemy because I need some, because one of the things it works on is staph, and that's what I got. And somehow it kept calling, the parasites thought that was them breaking out of my skin, but we knew, and we all knew it, and it's staph. Cool. This stuff, hanging out, just hanging on the trees, works to treat that, but it helps to have it heat treated, and with alcohol and heat, which can be difficult and problematic. The BHO crew knows about that. And so I got that and a few others from the master potion makers. So pretty cool antibacterial. Theirs that I ordered was the Usnea barbata. Its traditional uses are as an immune tonic, antibiotic, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, and immune stimulant. Pretty cool list of stuff right there. And so yeah, bacterial, it works on really fast growing, kind of aggressive bacteria, especially like streptococcus, staph, tuberculosis, and tends to leave the beneficial bacteria more intact. So where a lot of antibiotics will kind of strip just all the helpful stuff as well, this stuff tends to leave it alone. Also, urinary tract infections, Lucas, trichomoniasis infections, pathogens, and such. Yeast, excess yeast. It's especially good for bronchitis. It relaxes the bronchi. And so that's pretty cool. And some of the muscles, it relaxes muscles, but especially the bronchi, good for colds, flu, pneumonia, the like. Quite a curious thing. It's elastic inside there. It's this greenish gray, and it's got this elasticity, which is how you can tell, that it is a Usnea. You pull one of the filaments, and there's this white cord running through it. That's one of the ways you can identify it, and that it's kind of got that, little spongy kind of bouncy elasticity to it. This is pretty cool. You can wad it up, put it in a ball. It's useful. You can chew it up, I guess, do it externally, which I'll be trying out. And I know I have some friends that really like it for things like abscesses in the tooth that you just chew up a wad and put in there. I haven't really experimented with that or had need to, thankfully, but apparently it's good for that if you got that going on. And I guess hair and skin, or hair and scalp, something to do with the hairy old man's beard thing. It's good for rinse, apparently. I don't know. I guess I could use a bit more. I feel it's doing stuff on my bronchial. Mm. Ecosystem. I can't believe I couldn't think of that. It's multiple life forms living together, but it's a symbiosis. And a pretty rockin' medicine, apparently, and a good indicator of the air quality, will help with your air quality, but also in the area, because they'll only grow to be tiny, tiny, tiny. They can be like millimeters if it's poor air quality. Now here it's good. At this elevation, there's not very many. There's kind of a belt that I went through coming up the hill and the mountain. And I noticed they tend to be really thick by the coast, like Oregon coast, California, certain places. And in the redwoods, they like it with that mist 'cause they're just growing, hanging out, doing their thing on the trees. Not feeding on the trees, just hanging out on them with them. So thanks for hanging out with me and the Usnea. We did it. You